In my quest for a simplified home and a simple, enjoyable life, sometimes I can put too much on my plate and start to feel a little overwhelmed and headed towards burnout. So today I want to share some simple tips that I have learned through the years on how to avoid getting burned out before it's too late. This is a typical week in our life of the homemaking things that I do around our house. So I am just focusing on eating healthy and making myself some lunch here, which is a smoothie. And one tip I have is to stop and actually enjoy the food that I'm going to eat. So I'm going outside to drink my smoothie in our garden and relax. Then I head out to restock our house with groceries. Because we got back from camping, I also have to get that organized. Here is the aftermath of camping. I have so much random stuff that I want to keep separate from my normal daily kitchen stuff and life stuff as camping stuff, because it's just things that we wouldn't normally use in our everyday life. Like we use an electric kettle, so this worked great for camping. It was really inexpensive, and since I want to continue camping, I think I'll just make a bin and label it camping stuff and put all this stuff in there. That way I know exactly where to look when we decide to go again. I had put this project to the side for a while. We had been home for a few days, and then I decided to dive into dealing with all this stuff. But that's one way to avoid burnout, is just to take time to do these projects and don't rush yourself, because that's when you can get overwhelmed. Most of the items that we brought camping with us were straight from our kitchen that we already had. We did purchase a few items to use just for camping. Like I didn't have a pitcher before and I wanted a plastic one for camping. These little flimsy containers just for storing things. I didn't want to take my glass ones. So we did purchase a few items, but not much. Most of it was just from my kitchen, things I already had. But the good thing is this can just be labeled and it will stay organized. My salad spinner broke right in time for the trip. So I thought, why not just take this and use it on the trip, and I'll probably store it in here because we can use it again and again. The top part is what broke. And this zipper storage bag from IKEA came in really handy because we put all the sheets and blankets, towels, and extra things that were soft in this, and it was nice because it kept it clean even when we were in the dirt. So I really liked having things like this. For me, being overwhelmed and starting to burn out go hand in hand. So when I see that my kitchen is completely out of order and there is stuff on every counter, I start to get overwhelmed, and then I start to think about all the things I need to do, and that is when burnout can happen. So I'm just taking this day to focus, turn off my social media, get away from my computer, forget about trying to get any kind of computer work done on this day, and just focus on resetting our kitchen counters. I'm making ice. I'm doing all those little tasks that do take kind of a lot of time when you put them together. And by focusing on that, I know that I'm going to be so much happier when I walk into the kitchen and know that everything is reset and ready for me to start cooking and to just get on with my daily routine. Another thing I do is I forget about making some kind of elaborate meal, and I do something that I can throw together easily. So I had made a smoothie for lunch, and then I just made tacos, which makes it so much easier because everyone can just throw together what they want in that tortilla and eat what they prefer, and I don't have to worry about trying to please everybody. It's just a simple, easy meal. Now I'm also focusing on something I really wanted to do, which was decorate for summer. I put these flags up. I can link them down below. I bought them this year. I've been wanting them for quite a while, and it's just a fun thing to add for summer to the front of our house. Focusing on something I love to do, which is decorate or get creative, is another another great way to avoid burnout because it allows me to really focus on what I enjoy. And I feel part of burning out is when I'm just feeling like I'm not getting things done fast enough. So to take a little break from that and do something enjoyable is really worth it and helps with not being overwhelmed. Also, cleaning our kitchen at the end of the day, while that may be annoying in the moment and I might want to skip doing it, I always thank myself the next morning when I wake up and our kitchen is nice and clean. I also like to enlist the help of everyone. So my helper, Emmett, he does the putting away of the dishes for us, and we work together as a team, which of course makes it more enjoyable. Then I clock out, so I'm not going to go back on my computer. I'm not going to go do anything else at this point. I am done for the day, and I try to get in bed early, read my book, and relax, and that really helps as well. We are going to go trim the bushes in the front. Where are you? Whenever I spend a day outside working in the yard or just outside in general, I feel refreshed, and it really helps me calm down from that feeling of not getting enough stuff done in our house because I don't see it. I'm outside doing something else. So we spent the majority of this day doing work in the front yard. I'm only showing some small short clips of this, but it was a full day of gardening, and it felt great to not only be out working in the yard, but getting exercise. It's surprising how much exercise I seem to get with gardening and trimming and all the things that have to get done. It's actually one of my favorite things to be doing exercise without really feeling like I'm exercising. Now I'm just picking some fresh vegetables from our garden. We have so many vegetables ripe right now at the same time. So we have cabbage and peppers, so many things, and we're trying to use all those in our food that we're making each day and each night. We're trying to pick recipes that we haven't tried before and just use up all this produce before it goes bad. I love summers because we have light for so much later in the day. It feels like the day lasts forever, but that can actually lead to burnout for me because I find our kids usually want to stay up later into the night because it's not dark yet. And I try to avoid getting burned out with the all day chaos by letting my kids entertain themselves. So they are currently doing Lego projects, all sorts of things, but taking that off my plate really helps.
Levi, this one's gotta go. This one's a little bit wackadoodle. So we'll get you some clean strawberries. Look. See, look at all these strawberries we grew for you. Yay! They grew themselves. We didn't actually grow them. Hold the stem.
This year, my husband Grant planted a salsa garden in his garden box. So we planted cilantro, tomatoes, onions, all the things that you need for salsa. And we had a lot of the tomatoes become ripe at the same time. So we decided to make salsa on this day. We also purchased some of the ingredients because not everything was ripe at the exact same time. But we decided to focus on making my mom's salsa recipe, which I will link down below. I have a blog post on this recipe. It is so delicious, and you can change out ingredients or add more or less of certain things depending on what you prefer. But we love her recipe. My husband likes to add his really spicy peppers to his bowl of salsa, and we like it more mild. This was a really fun project to focus on for one day, and that's one thing that I try to do when avoiding burnout is instead of focusing on 5 to 10 projects in a day, I just focus on one project, and this was the main activity of this day. One of the biggest ways that I start to feel not only overwhelmed, but stressed is when I get it in my head that I should be doing a lot of different things in a short amount of time. I start to think, why isn't my house in order still? And why can't I seem to make every meal perfect and get it all done at the exact right time? I just think in general, we put too much pressure on ourselves. I know I do this myself a lot of the time. And again, you can see me clearing off this counter. If I have things out, I know I just need to forget about trying to get so many things done in one day and focus on the one or two things that really need to get done. So this week it was getting the house back in order, which just meant slowly clearing off the counters, putting things away from the trip that we took, and tidying things up, but not doing it in any kind of fast race type fashion, just taking my time and getting it done when I felt the mood strike me and when I felt like I actually could use my bandwidth for that activity. And then another thing that I tried to do was involve the kids in everything that we were doing. So when we were cooking, they were there. When we were trimming the bushes out front, they were there. And when now I am just tending to one small area of this garden. So essentially, my big takeaway that I do when trying to avoid overwhelm and burnout is to just clear my mind, take things a little bit slower, turn off my phone, put it away, and just slowly chip away at the things that need to get done. And I try to quit feeling like I'm in a race in life and enjoy the small things, enjoy the quiet moments, and really try to savor all these really happy moments that are happening all around us every single day. Click subscribe to join my channel. I make weekly videos about our simple living, life and home, decluttering content with my mom, and so much more. You can also find me over at shannontorrens.com, and I have all of the links. Anything that I mentioned will be down in the description box. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.